What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another update video for you. Last night we brought you the news that, what did we bring them the news last night? About Doherty about to sign. You know, I thought the kind of transfer rumours were slowing down, but today they've really picked up. Let's talk about Zaniolo from Roma first. Apparently we've had a 50 million bid rejected. Roma are not keen on selling him this summer. This is from Sky Italia, Romano and Corriere dello Sport as well. So
yeah, a few sources, and also apparently, you know, there was some Tottenham representatives in Italy at the Roma training ground, and apparently as well, Zaniolo's agent has been talking to Spurs. That's from quite a few good sources that's been saying. But apparently Roma have absolutely no interest in selling Zaniolo. So look, that one looks like it's dead in the water. It looks like we're not going to be getting him for around that much. I can't say I'm spending more than that. But it's interesting that if we're, I don't know how true it is, if we're willing to splash that kind of cash, if we're not getting Zaniolo, maybe there's money for someone else.
Maybe, I know, it's very interesting. Maybe they're using up the Dybala money finally.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that went on Lo Celso, to be honest.
Maybe we could be seeing one marquee signing this summer if we can get these other deals for good prices like Doherty and Højbjerg. If we get, so it looks like we've got very good prices on them, then maybe that saves some funds for other players, for other players, because I think we probably expected to spend more on Højbjerg and Doherty.
It's also worth noting that apparently Zaniolo's agent was really trying to push this deal. So maybe it could be one for the future, maybe next summer.
He's still very young,
exactly.
Yeah. But I think if he has, I think his price is only going to go up. Unfortunately, I think the player is. He's been so good for Roma. He's such a great player, and it's weird because it's not a position we're crying out for, but obviously he would be an upgrade on what we have. But he's kind of like a versatile attacking midfielder. So it's interesting that we're actually in for him. I think maybe we just see it as one of those possible opportunities that is too good to...
Could Ndombele replacement.
Maybe. But I think we probably see it as one of those opportunities that if he's available, he's too good to turn down, maybe.
Moving on, and we're going to talk about Luis Suarez now. The link is from the Transfer Exchange Show, and they've said Tottenham Hotspur have now entered into negotiations with Barcelona over the transfer of Luis Suarez over a 2-year contract.
Yeah, I mean, he's 33 years old, so that'll take him to he's 35. So I can't see Spurs doing that, especially on the wages he's probably going to command at least probably 150, 200 grand a week. And he's he's on big wages at Barcelona, even if they release him. So I can't really see Tottenham getting this deal done. Although I still think he has a lot to contribute, and I think he would be a good member of the squad. I can't see us outlaying big money for him, especially because he's a player on the decline. Yeah,
first of all, he's a player on decline, and also if he was to join, you would say he wouldn't be our starter. That's pretty obvious. And would we really have someone that's not a starter on one of the biggest wages in the squad? I just can't see that.
No, me neither. I can't, especially because he's 33, so he's not going to have too many years. Do you think it'll be worth
it though for that wages? Let's say 150 grand a week or something.
Maybe. I think it possibly, because he still got 20 goals and 12 assists last season, or 21 goals. So I think he still has a lot in the locker to contribute, especially maybe for next year. I think the financials of that deal is probably too much for someone like Levy, for a player who is most likely going to be sitting on the bench. I think Levy probably wouldn't sanction that. I can't see that happening.
Even in today, you know, the guy's 32 years old, 33 years old, and he's still getting goals. He's still scoring goals for fun.
He is.
His record this season speaks for itself. And also, I know they lost 8-2 that game, but that goal he scored against Bayern was brilliant. The way he spun the defender inside, outside, and bang, finish. So obviously, the guy still has a lot of quality about him.
He does, but I think he's more likely to go to a team where he'll be starting every week, and maybe a team that can raise their profile by getting him on board, and it'd be more worth it to pay that wages than at Spurs. I just can't see a two-year deal and big wages for a player like Suarez, unfortunately.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Diego Costa now, and these are reports from TalkSport, The Mirror, and the Daily Star. So I think add a lot of salt into this one.
Many pinches.
Many pinches. And they say Tottenham have been offered the chance to sign Diego Costa at a cut price, as Atletico want to get rid.
I think it's more this deal makes a bit more sense than the Suarez deal, in my opinion, because I think Mourinho knows him well. Mourinho's dealt with him before. He's 31, so he's not too old. He's like not he's not 33, so he's not getting into his late 30s. When he was at Chelsea,
he looked like he was 40 years old. Now he must look like he's like 50.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I've seen pictures of him when he was like in his teens, and he still looked like he was like in his mid 30s. It's unbelievable. And there was a great video going around where Mourinho was asked to describe, think of the first word that comes to mind when he thinks of each player, and he comes to Diego Costa and he just goes animal, animal. But that was funny. But I think if we could get a tune out of Diego Costa, he'd be a big, valuable member of the squad. I think he knows how it is to win trophies. He won the league at Atletico and then won 2 Premier Leagues at Chelsea. Unfortunately, since he's gone to Atletico in his second stint, it hasn't really gone great for him.
Win the league?
He won the league of Atletico.
Really?
Yeah, well, in 2014. I remember when they won the league. So yeah, he was their main striker then. So he knows how he's a leader in the change room as well. He's a fighter. He's a battler. He might ruffle a few feathers in the squad.
Might.
Yeah, he definitely will. But he could be a good character to have around. But the thing is, yeah, he hasn't been great since he's gone back to Atletico. In the 3 seasons he's been back at Atletico, he's got 17 goals in 74 games. So it's not the best of records playing there. So that's why he's available for a cut price fee. But Mourinho knows him well, and if he thinks he's worth taking a punt on him and thinks he can get a tune out of him and get the best out of him, then I think he's worth having around. And no, there's no better striker to bring in. We're not going to get a better player than Diego Costa, really, are we?
I mean, when you put him against Higuain, who would you rather?
Ooh. I just about think Costa. Just about. I think.
What about Diego Costa against someone who's suited to? Well, we know Costa is suited to the Premier League, but what about if you put him up against someone like Callum Wilson?
I think.
Or Milik.
I think Milik, because he's younger, so I think he'll have more to give, and I think he'll be hungrier. But I think Costa, I think just because Jose knows Costa, knows his character, and we could do like a character like Costa in amongst the squad, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, this shithousery will be up there, won't it?
And he loves a goal against Arsenal as well. Yeah. Not that we're short strikers who love a goal against Arsenal, but he loves to torment Arsenal, which is a great thing. And I think
so does Jose, doesn't he?
Exactly, and I think I don't know. I just think that signing someone like Costa will do well for the squad, and I think he adds competition up front as well. I reckon he would push Harry Kane if he came, and I think if Mourinho believes they can get him back playing, then I think it's a no-brainer for sure.
I mean, I said a few weeks ago that I think we should look at Diego Costa because of his links with Mourinho, suited to the Premier League. Can be a target man in the Europa League and come on in the Premier League and the Cups and stuff like that. So I thought
he could play with Harry Kane maybe sometimes as well. Yeah,
I mean, I thought it would be a brilliant signing. I'm just, after hearing those stats of him at Atletico the last 3 years, it just worries me a bit.
Yeah, he hasn't been. That's the truth. He hasn't been great. Some would argue, is it Simeone's tactics and whatnot? Well, Mourinho's not the most attacking manager anyway. But we know that he's done well under Mourinho previously. But then again, he has done well under Simeone previously. So if Simeone can't get a tune out of him, could Mourinho? Maybe Mourinho will back himself. It's a difficult one. The truth of the matter is he hasn't been great since he moved to Atletico, goal scoring wise. So maybe it's a case of his he is a bit past it. But if Mourinho is confident, if Mourinho can gets Costa and speaks to him and thinks I can get the best out of him again, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's move on to the last link of the show, and it is Sergio Reguilón of Real Madrid. Obviously, he spent last season on loan at Sevilla, winning the Europa League and actually having a really good season. And this link is actually interesting because it's from Marca, which is a Real Madrid publication. And they say Spurs would have to spend around 20 million to sign the player and face competition from Manchester United, Inter Milan and Juventus. And it looks like we are interested in him.
And it's actually more interesting because there were some tweets dug up from Reguilón back in 2013 saying how much he loves Tottenham, which is interesting. So clearly he's no stranger to Spurs. He had a great season last season. You saw in the back end of the Europa League as well. He put in some great performances against United. Got an assist, I think, for one of the goals.
And Chelsea were heavily linked with him before Chilwell signed for him.
Yeah, I thought he was actually, and Everton as well. Also, I think very heavily linked. I thought he was going to go, but he didn't end up making the move. I think he would be a good player to have at left back. There's been a lot of talk that he's happy with Davis and Sirkin. There's not been a lot of talk of us really signing a left back. But I do think if there's an opportunity to upgrade a left back, then we should take it, personally. And I think Reguilon definitely would be that. And he has a lot of potential. He's quite young as well. Yeah. And for a decent price, I'll definitely be ahead of that. The only thing is he's quite an attacking left back. So whether he would play him and Doherty in the same team, I'm not so sure about it.
To be seen.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if that's what he wants, but I think he would be a really good option. He would be an upgrade left back, and I think it's one we should definitely be looking at.
You know, if we were to have him and Doherty in the same team, it could potentially be at 3 at the back with them being wing backs.
Yeah,
I mean that could work.
That would probably mean you have to sign another centre back.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
but maybe, but I think comes at a good price. I'd be all for it. I think he'd be a really good signing. We should definitely be looking at. I don't think we will end up signing him.
I mean, it's interesting at Real Madrid at the moment because they seem to have all these young up and coming players: Reguilon, Hakimi, Ceballos, and they don't want to keep any of them. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's part of their. It's a bit like Chelsea. It's part of their plan is to kind of loan players out, and if they're good enough. Like
these players do seem to be good enough. Ceballos did it a bit in the Premier League towards the back end of the season.
Ceballos wasn't good enough.
Do you not think so? I thought he upped his game after lockdown. Anyway,
he played a couple of good games, but he really hasn't shown anything. He was much better at Betis.
Reguilon was one of the best left backs in the Europa League this season. Hakimi was one of the best right backs in Europe this season for Dortmund.
I don't know why they didn't keep Hakimi. That was a strange one.
So look, it's a very weird one with Real Madrid. But anyway, that is the end of the transfer show. I just want to key mark a few dates for next week. Europa League qualifying draw is on Monday night, and obviously on Tuesday will be the TV fixtures for the Premier League will be announced, so keep your eyes out for that, and obviously the Amazon documentary on Monday as well.
Yeah, looking forward. We'll be doing reviews of that.
Yeah, which everyone is very excited for. And pre-season today and pre-season on Saturday as well, so check out for our content revolving those games, and like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.